What's going on, ballers? Welcome back to Talking Ball, the only place on YouTube where you get both NBA and NFL draft coverage. I'm Jack, and today we're going to be taking a look at the ACC NBA draft watch list. So these are guys who should be on your radar from the ACC for the 2018 draft. Some of these guys are more likely, 2019 or even 2020 candidates, but just want to put them on your radar so you're aware of them. And we're going to go here via alphabetical order of the ACC schools. And I want to keep this video around 10 minutes. We're about 40 seconds in right now. And the last overall watch list was about 20 minutes. I felt that was too long for you guys, so I'm going to keep it more concise here. So without further ado, the first school is Boston College. And to me, there's just no one on Boston College right now that I'm aware of for you guys to pay attention to. So you can take Boston College and cross them off your list. Sorry, Eagles fans, but you're not going to get any love from me. Moving on here to Clemson, you got the senior forward who I swear started off as a guard and maybe grew a little bit here, Dante Grantham. He's about 6'8". He obviously has good size at 6'8", and he could do a little bit of everything. He's had an up and down career there at Clemson, but if he can develop a three-point shot to go along with that size and the potential there to be a 3-and-D type wing, he'll get some looks in the second round and definitely will be around in that combine and summer league process for sure. Now moving on to the team that you guys know I cover so well, especially on Dealing with the Devils. Go check out that channel, the Duke Blue Devils, and they have 5 guys. All of their starters actually are candidates for the 2018 draft class. Obviously you guys know the senior Grayson Allen at this point, so I'll give you guys a little more information on the 4 freshmen there. So you got Trayvon Duval, the freshman point guard, who's very explosive, a heady player, a guy who has had 20 assists in the first 2 games so far. We'll see how he does in the big game against Michigan State, but a guy who needs a 3-point shot, and that's going to limit how high he goes in the draft. Next up, you got the other guard there, Gary Trent Jr., the off-ball guard who showcased an ability to score from all levels, mid-range, at the rim, and from the 3-point line. His 3-point stroke has looked magnificent early on here, and actually, has really shown that he's going to be able to do really a multitude of things as a scorer. Next, you got the 2 big men, Wendell Carter Jr. and Marvin Bagley. Obviously, Marvin Bagley, all-world type prospect. He is a guy who reclassified up, and he really has shown that he's the number 1 or top 3 guy in this class, right along with the Mo Bambas and Michael Porters and DeAndre Aytons and Luka Doncic's of the world. And Wendell Carter Jr., a guy who I like to compare to Kevin Love because he's got that back to the basket game. He can step out and shoot the 3-pointer, although that's still developing. He really needs to be wide open, but he's a tremendous rebounder and a better athlete than given credit for. And his shot blocking ability early on this season has been something that has shown really well. We'll have to see though if he can develop his quickness. His foot quickness will be a key for him because it could limit him to the 5 position at the next level. After all those Blue Devils, let's move on here and we'll get a little more rapid fire here. There's a little less players per team. You got Florida State. They got Terrence Mann and a couple of walkers who I want you guys to pay attention to. Mann's a do-it-all type. He's got good size at 6'6", and he needs to develop a consistent 3-point shot, as a junior here to really be considered seriously. Then you got that latest highly touted wing, MJ Walker. We'll see how he does compared to previous wings like Dwayne Bacon and Malik Beasley. And then lastly, their sophomore point guard, CJ Walker, who is a guy who, as I mentioned earlier, may not be a 2018 guy, but look for him in 2019, 2020. A real nice young player who I think is going to grow into a bigger role this season at Florida State. Now you got the Georgia Tech team here, and you got Ben Lammers and you got Josh Okogie. Ben Lammers is the guy who he's going to be their star player, especially early on. 3.4 blocks a game last year to go along with about 14 and 10. He's a big guy, around 6'10", and if he can start shooting the ball, he's gonna be not only gonna be a fringe second round guy, but he could shoot up there to that late first, almost even early second round area. He has that much ability. And Okogie is he's a strong guard. We'll see how he does developing this year in terms of his ball skills at Georgia Tech. Now you got Louisville, the much maligned Louisville program, but they do have a number of prospects who at least are worth your attention. If they're not going to be, top flight, top 15 type picks, they're going to be on the radar for NBA teams for sure. So you got a trio of wings and then two bigs I got for you guys. So you got BJ King, who's got potential to be a very good shooter and scorer if he can lock down his consistency. You got the new guy, Brian Bowen, who's the guy who unfortunately may have brought down the program there. Not his fault, but just the guy who everyone associates it with. And then the guy with the most cred, I would say, among NBA scouts is Dan Adele. He's the most well-rounded prospect on the team, and he's got real potential as a rotational wing at the next level. Then there are two bigs. You got Anis Mahmoud, who's a versatile shot blocker, and he's really improved each year at Louisville. He's developed his offensive game. He's got some nice footwork there in the low post, and defensively, his shot blocking and instincts have improved immensely. Then on the kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, you got Ray Spalding, who's a tremendous athlete, better athlete than Mahmoud, but not nearly as good of a player. A guy who I've had my eye on there for a couple years now, waiting to see if he can put those skills together with his talent. Moving on, you got Miami. They got a couple of guys here, and Bruce Brown, the sensational sophomore, who, if you check out my video, the top non-freshman, upperclassman that is, he's right in there at number 3. And then you have Lonnie Walker, a freshman guard who's been getting a lot of hype. Both of these guys, actually, for Miami, have been regarded early on here as lottery picks. So that's just something to note. If you're watching basketball, Miami's a good team to throw on. If they're on there, you better watch them. They got a couple of guards here who are very, very talented. Moving on to North Carolina, that other team in the North Carolina area, in part of the triangle there, the wrong shade of blue, as I like to say. You got Joel Berry and Theo Pinson. It's a little bit strange that they don't have a big man who's getting real looks at the next level, and I think that will change. I'm excited to see who's gonna show up for them at that spot. But with Berry and Pinson, you got two vets who know how to play the game. Pinson, if he could shoot the ball, he'd be a top 20 type pick. It's just he can't shoot. It's really hurting his stock there, and the fact that he's only about 6'4", 6'5", he as a wing, he's kind of undersized. Berry, 6'1", he's not a great defender. He's a good scorer. He just might be a really good college player, but a guy who struggles at the next level, especially getting to the basket. Now, moving on here to NC State, my boy Jeremy gave me one guy that I definitely should mention here. I'm going to mention him right away, which is Malik Abu. Abu has a grown man's body. He's had it ever since he got there, and the athleticism is there. It's a question of will he develop skills, or will his motor run consistently enough to where he doesn't need to. And they also have Omer Yurtseven, came over with a lot of hype last year from Turkey. See how he develops this year as a sophomore. It took him a bit to get on the court last year due to some NCAA issues, whatever their issues were. But, he's definitely a guy to keep on your radar. Moving on, Notre Dame, Bonzie Colson and Matt Farrell. Bonzie Colson, both guys. You gotta love both guys. They're underdogs. Farrell really emerged last season. Nobody thought he was going to be more than a bit player. He changed that narrative in a hurry and really emerged as their lead guard. Could be a guy like TJ McConnell, who really nobody has on their NBA radar. He just works and improves each year and finds his way into an NBA rotation. Colson, on the other hand, was in a similar boat to Farrell, as I said. And as a 6'5", maybe 6'6" big man, he's certainly undersized, but he's extremely long arms, almost a 7-foot wingspan, rebounds the heck out of the ball, over 10 rebounds a game last year, and really gives fits to bigger defenders. The fact that he added a 3-point stroke last year with the positionless basketball the NBA has says to me this guy has got a real shot at the next level. Pittsburgh fans, I'm sorry, I don't have anybody on my radar for you guys. Syracuse, Tyus Battle, you guys know about him. That guy's an NBA scorer. I think he will find success at the next level, whether it's this year, next year, whenever he's going to be an NBA scorer. You can write that one down. Virginia has a guy, Kyle Guy, in fact, who, he has a chance. He definitely has a chance. He's got really good burst, above average athleticism, can shoot the ball off the dribble. There's a lot of positives about his offensive game. Defensively, we'll have to see, but it's a scorer's league right now, and so if he can prove he can score in a multitude of ways, they're going to give him a chance at the next level. And a couple more guys here to finish us out. You got Virginia Tech's Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a freshman combo guard who's getting a ton of hype. I haven't seen a lot of his game so far, very early in the season yet, but I've just been hearing so many positives about this player that I had to let you guys know about him. And really just a guy, again, to keep on your radar. Whenever Virginia Tech's on, you want to be watching Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And lastly, Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They have a point guard in Bryant Crawford, who last year, if you guys were paying attention, I gave a lot of love to John Collins from Wake Forest. The other guy who I thought was really good for Wake Forest and has NBA potential is Bryant Crawford, and he's a heady player. He's a junior this year. It may take him till 2019, but he might just sneak into the league as a bigger point guard, 6'4", 6'5", guy who can do many things on the court, and he's just another guy to keep on your radar when you're watching ACC basketball. That's it, guys. That's all I got for the ACC NBA draft watch list. Let me know what you think of this. I'm going to be looking at other conferences for sure coming up here. So, leave your comments. Who did I miss out on? Who did you like that you saw here? Let me know what you think. And obviously at the end of the season, we'll come back and revisit this list and see where I messed up or see where I got it right. So thanks guys for listening. I'm out. Peace.